Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I'm going to speak to you about data validation as one of the most important features in Microsoft Excel. So stay with me to the end, then you'll be able to understand what the data validation is. So now taking a look here, I have some sort of sample data where I have the column for age, I have the column for name, I have the column for age, and I have the column for score. The age of a person varies from a certain number to a certain number. Of course, I don't think if it is possible to say that somebody is 1,000 years old. Maybe somebody is 300 years old. Of course, we have some records that are broken, then they are recorded to different books. But in this tutorial, I have restricted the age to vary from 0 to 120. And again, the part of the score, a person may score from 0 to 100 in most of the common scenarios. The score ranges from 0 to 100. Let us check how, if I'm putting the age maybe to be 9, somebody might write 9 as that one. That will somehow, of course, hinder the process of making some analysis since we want to deal with the numbers. So you can see that the input has been rejected. Again, if I just type the age like 90, you can see it has been accepted. But if I'm typing the age like 900, we'll be getting the message like this, that the value doesn't match with the data validation restrictions defined on the given cell. How about the scores? If I'm typing 100, of course, it will accept because I have set it 100 to be the highest one. But if I'm writing 101, you see it rejects because the given mark is not valid one. So now how do we do this one? Now stay with me, you'll be able to understand this one. Now I have now one column that I'll be explaining about the data validation in different categories. So at the moment, if now, of course, the rule number one, you have to highlight the cell where you want to see your impact or your effect. Then after you have highlighted your cells, then you go to the data tab and then you go to the data validation. You select the first one, that is data validation. So you can see at the moment, we are accepting any value from the list. So how if I want to customize or I want to set another value? So you can see we have multiple options here. We have the options for whole numbers. We have the option for decimals. We have the option for list. We have the option for date. We have the option for time. Custom text length. Also, we have the part of custom. So for this tutorial, I'll be explaining just some of them, and then others I'll explain in other tutorials. At the moment, we are accepting any value, but let us assume that we only want to see the whole numbers. So it will ask us the whole numbers between. So you can select either it's between, not equal to, and the others. So I just want to select between. That means the minimum value to be 0 and the maximum value to be 100. So that means all other values that are not in the given range, they are going to be rejected. I just hit on OK. So you can see in this cell, if I'm typing 100, I have the thing. If I'm typing 90, it's between 0 and 100, right? The maximum is 100 and the minimum is 0. But how if I'm typing 900? The input has been rejected. That means the value doesn't merge the data validation restriction defined on the given cell, because we said we want to accept the values from 0 to 100 only. So 900 is not in the given range. That's why the value has been rejected. So in the second column, what I want to do, I want to select another value. Of course, there is no big difference between the decimals as well as the whole numbers. The decimals, I think they're simple. For the part of list, of course, what comes from this one, you can now type, you can just type your values. Maybe you have the male, maybe comma, female. So what happens if I'm going to click on OK, you will notice that we have like a drop down where we'll be able to select. So if I'm just hovering my mouse there, if I just click on there, I'll be able to see the option that I have, whether it's a male or it's a female. So I just click on male. So the value will be there. If I'm just typing M, it will write for me the male. If I'm typing just F, let me just misspell. You see, it will not accept since the value is not in the given column. So I can say like maybe this one maybe is maybe something like a score, and then this one may be something like a gender or something like a sex, where you will have to select from the list. Of course, in most of the cases, we want to find the number of male, we want to find the number of female, so you just need to do that way. So I can just type maybe female. Let's see, female is there, male is there, right? So that's the simplest way we can do it. Now the thing that I want to do with you is on this another column where I want to go to data validation as usual. I go to data validation. Then now I don't want to see any value, right? I want to see now the list we're done with it, the whole numbers. So you can also select the text length, that is the length between which number and which number. Maybe I don't want the cell to be empty, so a person has to type the given value and those things. So this is just the short description of a data validation. Another thing, very important thing that I want to do now, I want to customize the error. So if I highlight this way, we remember that we set the data validation for the whole number, and the whole number has to range from 0 to 100. This is what we said for the given cell. So now we also, of course, have the input message. We can show input message when the cell is selected. Of course, the message that will be shown when the user selects the cell. This is not what we want to do. We want to do on the part of the error alert. So here we have the one that will stop, the one that will just give the warning, and the one that will just give the information. So the title here, I can just say maybe error, maybe, and the message here, the marks has to range, sorry, has to range from 0 to 100. That is what we're going to do to the user, so that the user will be able to see what he or she is doing is not correct. Let us just type now 190. You can see we have the error as the one that we customized, and we will see that the marks has to range from 0 to 100. So that means the user cannot type the marks that is above the given list or below the given range that we have already specified. So this is the method number one to customize for the errors. That means now I'm just not now giving the error to the user, but now the user is capable of checking what type of error or what he or she is supposed to do for the given cell. You can do the same for the sex. I can just highlight the given column, and then I can just also go to the data validation, and then the error here, the title, I can just write again error, and I can write sex can be male or female only. That means the sex can only be either male or female, so we cannot type another sex. So if I'm typing another sex here, maybe typing maybe male, I just misspelled it, you can see sex can be male or female only. So this is how we use the powerful tool called data validation in Excel, and this one also helps us to protect or to prevent the errors during the data entry. So we are specifying the range where the input has to be, or we are forcing a person to select from the list of the items that we have. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you learned something new. Wishing you all the best.